Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is a lowish viable teams on Contact Protocol, the C3PO event, where and when possible I want to help out some of the early and mid-game players and go back to some older content and show them how to beat those events. Can't do it on everything. For instance, Chewie event, my bounty hunters are far surpassed where they were when I unlocked Chewie, so I can't help out there. But with C3PO, I have barely touched my Ewoks since the event. Maybe a gear piece or two, but the gear levels have not changed. So here are my Ewoks. As you can see, I have 2 gear 11, 1 gear 10, 2 gear 9. The top 5 here, Chirpa, Paplu, Elder, Wicket, Logray, are the ones you want to use for this event. Wicket and Logray are both worth going for because Wicket, for one, is part of your Zeta income. You really want to maximize your Zeta income as early as possible. Logray takes a long time to farm through the guild store, but it's well worth it. I'd rather take the extra time to get Logray than I would want to spend unneeded stun guns on T-Bow or Scout. If I had to go between T-Bow and Scout, I'm personally going for T-Bow. I like the extra control his kit gives with the turn meter stripping, the stealth he gives, and the turn meter gain he gives to all the Ewoks. Scout is pretty much just extra damage, which is fine, but I find that the engine here is Elder. You want Elder to be going as much as possible. T-Bow helps out more there. When I recorded the footage, this is where the speed and health and protection were with the mods. I would say that these are in excess of what is needed, but it will make it a lot easier if you can hit these targets. I just replayed the event to prep for this video to kind of figure out this, remind myself of the strategy and to figure out what things I wanted to emphasize. And I was able to beat the event with my current mod set that I will put a link to my SWG account in the description below, which was far slower and not as tanky. So where my mods currently are was more in that 200 speed range, somewhere slightly below, somewhere slightly above, and I was still able to beat the event. Chirpa here is gear 9. You want the Zeta. The Zeta is going to be calling those extra assists and give you a chance for Elder to be hitting more often. Elder is the engine of the team. We'll talk about that more in a second. I used a speed set. You want him fast, but he does not need to be the fastest or the tankiest. It's more about the Zeta with him. So like I said a moment ago, Elder is the engine of the team. And because Elder is the engine, you can't afford to lose him, so I did emphasize health and protection a little bit more with Elder, but overall I had a bias towards getting him as fast as possible, so that's why you see like this tenacity mod or this health triangle, because I was far more concerned with speed than I was with the health and protection. But you do want to get those as high as you can without losing too much in speed. Paplu here, we have another speed set and health set. He's another one you want at gear 11 since he's the tank of the team. He's also going to be taunting. He's going to want to take some damage. Speed's also important because he is the dispel, which is going to be important for the commando, and he is going to be calling assists onto Elder, and you want him going as much as possible as well. But again, Elder and Wicket are the most important characters in terms of speed. So Wicket here, I gave speed and damage. He is at gear 10. You can go to gear 11 without issue. He's a very good Ewok character, but I did it at 10. I don't want to give him the stun gun that he needs to go to the next level. He's the damage dealer of the team. He also calls Elder to assist and will stealth Elder in order to keep Elder alive longer. So the more critical damage and crit chance you can put on him, the better. You want him going as much as possible because he is going to be doing the most damage and the faster he goes, the faster you'll be able to get through Chewbacca, through the Commando, through R2, through Han Solo, through everyone. Now I have an offense triangle on him, but that could easily have been a crit chance or a crit damage mod. But again, I'm having a bias towards speed over a lot of the other stats. And let's wrapping up here with Logray. You want potency on him since he's going to be putting the days, he's going to be stripping turn meter. And you want, but as you can see here, I emphasize speed more than anything. The reason there's health mods on him is because those were my fastest remaining mods when I started, as I went through the mod priority with these characters. As I was replaying the event today, I felt like having him as fast as possible, but in sequence kind of right around Wicket and Elder in terms of speed was pretty important, since the faster he went, the more survivable he made the team by putting foresight on everyone, and the more he was able to strip the turn meter and to do some additional dispels. The faster he was, the better I felt like I was able to handle the event. Now we are going to get into the footage as we talk about setup and strategy. If you're limited on Omegas, you're going to want to prioritize the Ewok basics. That is where all the synergy in their kit is, and without the basics, the team doesn't really work. The rest of these setup tips are primarily a summary of the major items we were talking about in the first half of the video. One of the other items here is if you want to go for a secondary Zeta to make this a little bit easier, I recommend the Wicket Zeta, because Wicket adds a lot more survivability with his Zeta. Now, to talk about the opening here, so I'm going to pause this. With the opening, this is the biggest RNG dependent portion, like the Chewie event, where you want to wait until Dengar doesn't stealth, or Dengar prevents the R2 stealth. Here what you're looking for is Chewie not to go under stealth, and you want to just keep restarting the event until Chewie is left open. Now in this particular moment, before we hit play again, you're going to see me stall and wonder, do I want to use the assist call and go from return meter, or do I want to use the basic and dispel that taunt so I can go after Chewie faster? But I opt to go for the assist because where possible, I want to be prioritizing those Elder assists. And now I'm wondering, do I want the heal? This time I opt for the heal just because of how weak Logray was at the particular time, and I had won the scenario that I wanted. And now I believe I stripped the turn meter from R2 just because he had the foresight, but now I want to focus down on Elder, and it was where the turn meter was at that particular moment. Here's the basic strategy. We already mentioned that restart until Chewie is, if Chewie stealths. The kill order here is you want to be going for Chewie. You need to get rid of the guard on Han and Leia. As soon as Chewie is down, you can target Han. Go for Leia if you can. In this particular footage here, I go after the Commando and then R2 before I take Leia out, only because Leia was under stealth. But when I replayed it earlier today, I went after Leia before I took out the Commando and then R2. Also, in terms of the Commando, he is going to be taking a lot of damage just from the AoEs and from taunting and from needing to dispel from time to time. So I don't really focus down on the Commando all that much. I go for R2 a little bit more often when I'm forced to, just because R2 takes a lot longer to take out. So the key things you want to be remembering here is Elder is the engine, call the assist with him as much as possible and all the time. Remember that if Elder is stunned, Paplu can cleanse him with the assist call. Be very careful when you use those heals and revive. even if characters are weak, just because Elder's turn meter is a little bit more important, and in certain scenarios I would go for the turn meter gain over healing. The heal also has a chance for multiple revives, so if you're in a scenario where 2 characters are out, I'll usually go for Elder's heal to try and bring those 2 characters back instead of the revive, since the revive only brings 1 character back. But that's another one of those RNG points where you may not bring anyone back. So here I'm about to take out Han. Then I'm going to try and go after Leia, but then R2 will be stealthing, and then I'll be forced into going after R2 and the commando. I'm going to speed up the footage here and then just let this play out. I hope that helps those of you who are working towards the C3PO event or are currently attempting it. I'll try and do these types of videos where and when my roster allows. I'm thinking right now of doing a Lowish viable teams on the current fleet meta, since I'm able to do that right now at a very low star level. I want to show how I'm currently achieving 1 basically every day in fleet. Any other suggestions or ideas, please put them below. Leave a like, please subscribe. We're trying to build a little channel here. Thank you for watching. This has been Still Plays. Be safe out there, everyone, and be excellent to each other.